The most shocking element of this week's episode of the Misfit, a Demon King Academy isn't the fact that Hsieh is Hero Kanon. That's something that I've been suspicious of for a while. I recognize that it could be a red herring, but it just seemed to me, based on the friendship of him and Anos, that it would make sense that he would reincarnate in the demon side so he could be alongside him in the future. That's not the most shocking thing that it's revealed that he is Hero Kanon. There's been the hints, there have been the foreshadowing, there have been the he's wielding swords that only the hero should be able to wield. The most shocking element is that the fake Demon King is Hsieh, who just so happens to be Hero Kanon, and I'm like, this series is absolutely remarkable. I've really been thinking of the best sentence to sum up the Misfit, a Demon King Academy, and I've come to the conclusion that the best way to sum this up to people who've never watched it is it's the light novel adaptation we never knew we needed, but we totally needed. This show is so good at laying the groundwork, not wasting the viewer's time, and just getting into the interesting content while taking it slow where it counts. And I don't know if this is due to just actually properly adapting the novels, speeding up the novels to get to the main good content while keeping the fundamentals there. I have no idea. All I know is that this studio has been hitting it out of the park all year, and this is another banger for them, and I can't wait for the finale next week. There was so much happening in this episode that really intrigued me. I was pretty much content on just having some cool action. We have the cloning angle, and then we learn who actually killed Hero Kanon in the past. Someone who was actually like his right-hand man, but because Hero Kanon very much believed in humans and believed in the demons kind of coexisting peacefully, he got stabbed and betrayed by the one who was closest to him. It was shocking in a certain sense, but it also was like, that makes total sense. Who else could have betrayed him at this point in time? So I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be a remarkable episode. We got the twist, we learned more about Hero Kanon's past, we feel like we've been rewarded in this episode, and I was totally content. And then they dropped the bombshell, humans and demons going to war again, because the hero and also the demons are just really not coexisting peacefully anymore. And I'm just thinking myself, what in the actual hell? Sure, Anos is strong enough to probably push back two armies single-handedly without even raising his pinky finger, but I was curious, what would he actually be able to do to convince that I'm actually the real demon, and that the hero hasn't actually awakened, and, this isn't what the hero wanted, and vice versa, you know what I mean? So, where do you go with this whole dilemma? And I figured we were going to have a showdown between fake Anos and real Anos, but I wasn't sure the direction this entire time that they wanted to go with the imposter, because the only thing in my mind that made sense was that the imposter had a very big grudge about Anos when he was alive, so he took it upon himself to feel like he was rewarded finally, that now he gets all the credit and maybe Anos didn't credit him enough. I figured that was the direction they're going to go, and I think that's just because I'm so used to these types of anime following that type of formula where someone feels like they're wronged and they basically screw over everyone else for their own benefit. So the reveal that he was Hsieh this entire time not only feels like it came from left field in a good sense, but it also makes the entire idea of this story so much more intriguing. By having the person who's been very respectable and someone who's really admired Anos clearly not doing this just because he wants revenge match or something. He could have that at any point. It's clear he's fighting for something and he's having to do things in a way that aren't that righteous. And just to kind of get that clarity when you really do see things for so many signs, like the fact that, he literally cares for this girl, took the necklace, which is basically a proposal at the end of the day, saying, I will come back. It feels very much like he's doing things that he knows are wrong, but he has to do it for some reason, and we don't know that reason as of yet. And that's why I'm really happy that this is a 13-episode season, not a 12-episode, because could you imagine if this was only 12-episode core? They would have had to rush so many different things to get to the conclusion that we're going to see next week. Which, I don't think Anos is cutting off his head or anything like that, but still, there's going to be some drama there, there's going to be some emotional punches thrown our way, and that what has me, really excited for what they could do here, because it feels like we're going to see, the best finale for this arc that we could possibly see, and I think this is going to be, my go-to recommendation when people want Magic Academy anime, because this seems to hit all the right notes, all the credentials for people fan of the genre, people who usually despise it, and really bring it into a really cohesive package that just screams quality. The cloning angle alone was really interesting, and how she really wanted to just give up on her life, which that falls into the more typical cliche route where obviously he knew she wasn't going to die, but it's interesting to see the direction Anos took, because rather than just giving into her wish or saying, no, you're going to live and you're going to see things good, he just gave it time and probably infused his mana into these clones so they could actually respond and show that they actually care for her. And it was actually a pretty sweet moment, backed by some of the most pretty visuals I think we've seen. I just love seeing the blues and the whites and how they really bring to life in this almost angelic aura. The art design and presentation to this show is a step above a lot of anime this season. And I can't believe I'm saying that for a show like this, when usually you only get impressive visuals on the really important fight scenes, not the general standing around talking to basically a representation of magic who wants to die. There was no reason to go to this level of extreme with the visual fidelity, but they did, and they knocked it out of the park. It was a home run without even trying, and they could skip down the lane as they get to first base there. It was so nice to see that this episode was all about explaining things from the past, but then also showing us new territory. And honestly, I'm not surprised that there's like a sort of war between humans and demons brewing. I think the most shocking element is honestly the fact that I haven't seen a single person say, I think Lei is the fake Anos. And that's a brilliant twist. I think that's one of the most impressive things that this series got right, is that they laid out the idea that most likely the person that he was friends with back in the day reincarnated on the demon side. Totally makes sense, the fundamentals are there. It may not be the most original or biggest twist ever, but it's a good one and you respect the hustle. But the idea that the person who's clearly a good person, even though we've seen this type of idea done before, a good person on actually a bad side, there was no like immediate indicators that was like, we gotta put a red flag on this guy. He was a good guy through and through, and the bad parts about him, you didn't really think that was because he was, the fake imposter. And because of this twist, it leads to so many interesting pieces of conversations that can happen next week, and just what will happen with their friendship, because they were very good friends back in the day, but now clearly Hero Kanon recognizes that humans were weak and this has led me to do these things. And I don't know where they're going to go with this, but I'm so excited because when you really look back at these 12 episodes, the foreshadowing is there, the groundwork has been laid, nothing is actually coming from left field. The biggest thing that I still have questions about, I'm sure, are going to be touched upon next week because we have an entire episode dedicated to really learn about what happened with Hero Kanon's mindset. Yes, he was betrayed by humans, but what led him to take up the mantle of being a fake Anos and rewriting history of a man he deeply respects. Is it because he was actually trying to correct it so the demons would actually take revenge on humans? We don't know, but it's so intriguing to see what happened. This episode didn't actually have too insane of action. There was a couple of moments of just like literally Anos flexing his support. He literally has a cheerleader squad, a couple of females on his side, and obviously best boy Lei, and he was basically wrecking both armies. You can tell that there was an imposter in the mix because goddamn is this man leading an army. Imagine if he had an entire army of demons by his side. There'd be no stopping him, which kind of makes sense back in the day. I'm just so excited for the finale. I'm so excited I decided to give this a shot, and I'm really happy a lot of people are watching this and checking it out because I think this deserves the hype that it's been getting and then some. Hoping for a season 2. I know there's rumors that there's a second core already in the works, but those are just rumors as of right now as far as I know, but hopefully that will turn into the truth down the line. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below, your favorite moment, and where you think it might go next week. Of course, leave a like if you enjoyed the video and hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.